Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are here getting ready for this absolutely incredible week. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Monday morning is back. We are bringing the energy, bringing the excitement, and we got a big week ahead. Not only do we have a big week ahead, but we have a shortened week ahead. Yes, guys, we only have trading Monday through Thursday. We do have Independence Day, a.k.a. July 4th, a.k.a. Welcome to America, a.k.a. the red, white, and blue, the bars and stars. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to profit. Today's a brand new day, brand new chance, brand new opportunity, brand new everything. We're showing up, fired up, relaxed, and feeling good about what this day is going to bring us. And as of now, we got a few plays that we really want to be watching, a few plays that we really are already on the radar, kicking things on off. Now, last week for me was absolutely incredible. I was able to add another $6,500, bang, over to the week, live streaming every single trade and basically, again, shorting these plays. Not only shorting, I would say probably 8 out of 10 plays have been shorting. 8 of them have been looking to be able to reverse back on down. 2 of them have been looking for some sort of squeeze and spike back on up. But at the end of the day, all it comes on down to, for me, is volatility. I want to see what stocks are moving. As long as stocks are moving, I can make money. That's all it comes on down to. If a stock has movement, there is money to be made. If a stock goes from $0 to $10, I could buy it. If it goes from $10 to $0, I could short it. If it goes from $0 to $10, comes back down to $5, and goes back up to $10, you could look for a dip buy. As long as a stock is moving, there is going to be money to be made. And again, right now, the stock that we're going to be looking at is going to be WeBuy. WBUY. This play at this moment has gone from $5 now up towards $11.60. What is going on right now? Because already we're having some action. Already we're having some activity. Already we're having a little bit of buying volume at this moment. We have a 107% gain. You can see WeBuy right here on top of the board. 107% gain, 892,000 in float. This stock has, a volume running through it like an ATM money machine. Just brrr, look at the numbers keep on going. And essentially what we have at this moment is, why is WeBuy up so much? Well, you guys can actually see it right here. It says WeBuy integrates Coinbase to accept stablecoin payments. So what we have at this moment, guys, is we have Coinbase stablecoin payments. Now, this is not saying that WeBuy has a partnership with Coinbase. That's a completely different thing. If they said they have a partnership, or if they have a collaboration, or they have a deal, guys, all they're doing is integrating Coinbase. That would be like, opening up a website and integrating PayPal and integrating Stripe. It's not the biggest thing in the world, to be honest with you. Anyone can integrate this. But at the same time, guess what? Traders, they're hungry for money. They're getting a little greedy already. Hey, we have a press release where we have a little tiny penny stock saying, hey, we are going to integrate with Coinbase. People are acting like it's NVIDIA. People are acting like it's a partnership. People are acting like it's something crazy. Again, a lot of the times when you have a low float stock and you give it a reason for people to buy in on these plays, Guess what happens? The stock starts going on these great rips, great spikes, great climbs. So WeBuy already has just gone from $5 and ripped and ran all the way up towards around that $12 mark. Absolutely beautiful. High of the day is 1186 so far, and we got to ask ourselves, is there more in the tank? Well, how high can we go? The best way to figure out how high we can go is by looking at past chart history pattern. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of past chart history pattern here over on WBUY. So again, WeBuy right here. I'm just going to say it's WeBuy or WBuy, I'll call it. What we want to do probably is go back to a 60-minute time frame. And all I want to look at is there any other old spiking highs in this general facility? Or is it just going to be $12 going to be holding up a strong resistance and that's going to be it? So I'm going to scroll back right here and then we get to this area. You know, this area is this old spiking high on the daily chart. This area shows what? Where is there a lot of trouble? Well, I could definitely see, you know, we kind of have like our main shoulder somewhere up in that $14 area. You see some upper shadows all the way up towards around $16. We could see old spiking highs all the way up to $28, $29. So at this time, we just came up towards around that $12 mark and it's starting to turn. This one's a little tricky. And the reason why it's a little tricky is because there's not like there's a lot of old spiking highs giving us the clear-cut answer of saying this is exactly where the stock is going to turn and drop. This is exactly where the stock is going to start getting ugly. Because when you guys take a look at this past chart history pattern, you guys can see a little bit of, you know, some old upper shadows at the price of $12.50. Here's again some upper shadows up near probably closer towards around $13. Here's again a top of a candle around $13.30. So again, if I had to say what would be the best overall area, I would probably say this area right here, right around $16. Upper shadow, dip by bounce play, dip by bounce play, dip by bounce play, upper shadow. That's kind of like the best overall target that I would see that makes sense. But at the same time, we're not near $16 yet. That would still be another $4 spike. That's still another $4 rip right here. I do and I would like to get involved over on WeBuy right now, a stock that's currently up 100% that definitely has money to be able to make. If I again short 1,000 shares and the stock drops $1, that means I make a $1,000 profit. If again I have 2,000 shares and the stock drops $2, I'll make a $2,000 profit. So again, if the stock has gone from $6 all the way up to $12, there's great odds that this could fall 50 cents. There's great odds that this could fall $1 or $2. This one is a good solid mover so far. So when we take a look at WeBuy right now, this is a play. It's getting a little bit of a drop. My rule of thumb is I always like buying up near highs. That's what I always like to do. Now again, or shorting near highs, I should say, because this is a very big issue that a lot of traders make. One of the biggest issues that traders make is they do this. They see a stock move itself on up, right? We see a stock go higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. And now we say to ourselves, hey, it's time to buy the play. It's doing great. Incorrect. This is the worst time to buy a play when it's at the very tippity top, because most likely what's going to happen? It's going to start fading and falling and fading and falling and fading and falling. And now guess what happens? You say, hey, it's a great time to short the play. It's fading and falling. This is the worst time to short the play. It has already faded and fall. Most likely you're going to get a dip by now as the stock starts moving its way on up. So the thing is, for me, how I again find success in the stock market is I only short the highs and I usually only look to buy the lows. I don't want to buy a stock after it's already spiked 200%. I look to short a stock after it's up 200%. I don't look to, again, short a stock after it's already fallen $3. I like to, again, dip buy a stock after it's fallen that $3 mark. So again, right now, WeBuy trying to get back up near $12. If we wanted to look for an entry, best area to enter is probably from $11.35 to the price of $12 with a hard stop loss above $12. You know what I mean? Because again, everything we do, we want to put the odds in our favor. Now, how do we put the odds in our favor? By shorting high, have a tight stop loss with all the room in the world to be able to fall back on down. So let's go ahead and let's see if we can locate shares over on this play. Over on WeBuy right here, we have WBUY. Okay, so how many shares would we want? I'd probably want to get about 2,000 shares. It'd probably be about a $22,000 investment. I inquire about these. I go over towards 2,000 shares right here, locate order. This is going to cost me $100. Okay, so it's not anything too crazy or too bad, but at the same time, there is going to be a little bit of a fee. I have been accepted for that, so now I can go ahead and I could short WeBuy whenever I would like to. Now, WeBuy. Is this stock going to be able to spike and squeeze and keep on ripping and running up to $12? Obviously, I do not know. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I know exactly where the stock is going to turn and fall. I know exactly where the stock is going to move in every single way. I know exactly where this play is going to be heading towards. Hey. So, WeBuy right here. when we keep our eyes peeled over on the stock, what's a smart thing that maybe we can do? Maybe start slowly getting involved on small shares. Why would we want to slowly get involved in small shares? Let's say again, worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, the stock again, does start fading and falling. It's good that we can maybe try to get a few shares on it no matter what. So right now here, traders, I know the entries that I want are going to be somewhere between, like, let's say this blue line right here and this blue line right here. These are entries that make me pretty happy. The red line would be our stop loss, and the VWAP basically is going to be our target. So what do we want out of this play? Well, obviously, look how much more room we have to fall. Look how much more room we have to drop. Look how much more room we have when we take a look at these plays. This is what I'm talking about when I'm referring to putting the odds in your favor on a stock. Let's just make our math simple. Let's say our math, we get filled 1,000 shares, okay? I get filled 1,000 shares right here. What is the most money I can lose? Let's say I get filled at the price of $11.40, okay? I could lose, let's say, $600. But how much money could I win? Well, if again, I'm filled at $11.40 and the stock goes on down towards, let's say, $9.40, I could win $2,000. So basically, what am I doing right here? I'm giving myself almost a 3-to-1 return on risk. So basically, I'm allowing myself to have some wiggle room. I'm allowing myself to allow the stock to be able to make the moves that it needs to make. But at the same time, I do have the odds in my favor that if the stock does turn and drop, I have more money. I have more ways to win than lose. And that's what I'm always looking for. So again, right now, let's see how much higher this can go. If it pops on up to $12 plus, we can wait for that and that could be great. I just want to be able to just be ready on this in case it does ever start turning. So we do have some strong resistance right around this 1120 mark, 1130 area. What do you guys think? Are we going to get that pop on up towards around $12? I apologize, guys. Got a little, still allergies, still hitting me a little bit. So we have a little bit of a higher low pattern. Little bit of a higher low pattern. Still showing a little bit of strength there. Strong resistance in that, 1125, 1130 mark. I will say that. Strong resistance, 1125, 1130. Every single time we come up towards around that 1125, 1130 mark, it definitely seems like it holds on up. We are, again, keeping our eyes peeled over on WeBuy. Hottest place so far with a 100% gain. Now, you might be saying, Deck, IPDN is up 162%. It's not really doing anything, is it? It's not really doing anything right now. WeBuy has most of the action. WeBuy has most of the attention here. Now, guys, we are coming on up here pretty quick. Let's watch it quack. Let's see if we keep on going here. We have $12 top resistance, guys. Let's see if we can break through that. Traders, I'm going to add a little bit right here. I'm going to show you my position box. I'm going to put my first position in and next to $12. First position getting filled at $11.90 right now. First position getting filled at $11.90. I want to see if this does keep on going. I'm only doing 250 shares, and I'll only add. So 250 shares, slowly add as we climb. So again, 250 shares as we add. So again, we are going to adjust this. Obviously, my first entry right now is the price of $11.90. First entry is the price of $11.90 at this moment. I'm going to add another 250 shares. Cost basis right now is $11.84. So blue line is my cost basis. We are forming a little bit of an upper shadow at this moment, right next to $12 resistance. We do have $12, still our main resistance line. Deck, what's our target? Our target would still be way down low if this thing ever upper shadows and turns and fades. I don't mind, again, getting in near top resistance. I don't mind getting in near $12. But I will say, if it starts kind of breaking $12 and starts getting a little bit more squeezy, it is great to just move on. Get out of it. Say, hey, you know what? It's not doing what we're supposed to do. So we do have right now WeBuy betting against it, 500 shares next to the pre-market high of $12 resistance. We are again watching to see, can we upper shadow and start fading and falling back down towards the low $11 mark. If we do start squeezing, we are going to have a stop loss at around the price of $12.25. So again, if we ever start squeezing, stop loss will be hit around that $12.25 mark. We will 100% out. Deck, why will we get out? Because it's not worth holding it for me if, again, it goes higher than what I expect. This is the only way we can make money in the stock market. The only way we can make money in the stock market, I don't care if you're shorting, if you're going long, if you're buying breakouts, if you're doing anything along those lines, you have to have a stop loss. You have to have discipline. If you don't have a stop loss, if you don't have discipline, that means you're just randomly gambling. You're jumping in and holding for the best. I will again tell you right now, all ego aside, I can't tell you exactly where every single stock is going to turn and dump towards. I don't know the exact price. All I'm trying to do is go ahead and short at the highest level where we have the most room to be able to fall and turn, where we have the most room to be able to turn and drop. And right now, again, I'm already up, $285, $260. Just like this, I'm already able to be able to make some good money because we are shorting at the highest point. We're not buying at the highest point, we're shorting at the highest point. Now we're up $324 at this moment, as again, the stock is starting to get a little weaker. Now, this is only 500 shares. It's not like we're doing anything crazy. This is 500 shares. If we crack underneath this uptrend, guys, it's going to turn into a little bit more of a bloodbath, and we could take some profits. Now, Deck, what would be a great profit out of this trade? Anything over $400, $500. Let's see if we can crack 11.10. Probably take profits back down near $11, or if we can get like a 10.90. So we're at 339 bucks. There's a nice little drop right there, guys. Let's take our gains, and we just made $424. So just like that, guys, just made $424. I hope you guys again made money with me. And again, now it's 7:46, and we're already set on the day. So really cool, guys, just being able to do things just like that. But again, figuring out plays, understanding it. Now, if you're saying, Deck, why are you taking profits right now? Well, remember, I didn't have a full 2,000 shares. And at the same time, guys, what do you guys need to realize? We still have this uptrend. So since we still have this uptrend, that is going to be a level of support where we have the potential to get a little bit of a bounce play, where we have the potential to get a little bit of a dip buy, where we have the potential where we might see a little bit of a green candle. So again, I just want to take my profits there. Now, again, everything that I've been explaining from the very start, from the very beginning right here, what has it been coming on down to? Well, again, let's grab this. Let me bring over my entries right here, traders. And let's go here. Here is all of my entries that I got involved in. Where did I get involved here, guys? We buy, right? Where did I short this play? 1191, 1191, 1189, 1179, 1180. I got out when it came back down towards $11. Pretty awesome, right? So, Deck, how did you do that? Well, again, we looked at past chart history pattern, and I told you it was a weird past chart history pattern. We did not see an old spiking high that was clear cut. So the only spiking high that we could work with right here was what? It's pre-market spiking high, which is right next to $12. So the thought process is anywhere near $12, let's just make the assumption that that's going to hold up as resistance. For anyone who does not know, stock trading is a very big psychological game. When people see that you have not been able to turn in the past, right, you are going to turn at the same areas in the future. So for instance, if you walk up towards, again, $12 and you hit $12 and you turn and fall, that's where you get a nice drop. That's going to now, again, put the mindset into traders as, okay, at $12, that's where we turn and fall. Again, I always show this here, and I think it really, like, sums up the way that, again, stock traders think. And I've shown a lot of my traders this here before. And again, if you can't hear the desktop, I'll have the desktop audio playing. So you should be able to hear this. If you can't, just let me know and I'll turn it on off. But this is how I always think about stock traders, and basically like how I think about past chart history pattern. As once past chart history pattern established itself, a lot of traders follow that rule. Now, yes, at some point it will break. At some point, $12 will snap and we'll go on a big time rip and run. But a lot of times traders will always start by looking at past chart history pattern and say, hey, past chart history pattern, that's what we do. That's where we reverse. That's where we're going to turn and fall. So this is a 1-minute video. It's 1 minute, not long at all. Let me again show you guys exactly what I mean and kind of give you guys a little bit more of a mindset behind traders. So let me know if you guys can hear this here. So you might be saying to yourself, what the heck does that have to do with anything? What the heck does that have to do with stock trading? Basically, what we have here, traders, is you want to go get the banana, you want to go up the ladder. Guess what? You come up to $12, you get beat up. Hey, new monkey just got in. Hey, you come up to $12, you get beat on up. Once we establish the rules, once we establish where resistance is at, once we establish where the stock is going to turn and fall at, that's where, again, everyone is on the same page. You do not want to be the one monkey going up the ladder when 5 other monkeys are saying, hey, we're about to beat you up the moment you come back on down. How many people have ever bought at the very tippity top thinking it's going to go up higher, and then this happens to you? How many people, again, buy at $12? And you probably would have bought at $12 today if I didn't tell you not to. How many people, again, usually say, oh, Deck, I buy at $12 all the time. I usually buy at the very tippity top. And then again, the stock came crashing all the way back on down. So the thing is, you want to realize once we establish resistance, sure, it looks great. There's a banana up there. Sure, there's profits up there. You in your mind believe that this stock is going to squeeze and spike and rip and run and go on a crazy climb all around. But at the same time here, guys, it just comes on down to the pure fact that you will not have as much success, if any success, if you constantly buy for breakouts. The way to be successful in the stock market, short the top, dip buy. Okay? The only other way to be successful is if you want to buy for breakouts is getting in the moment it comes on out. So if you're not getting in on WeBuy at 7 in the morning here, guess what? It's not worth it buying in at it at 7:45 after already a 45-minute spike. It's too late at that point. So again, WeBuy right here, stock went from $5, ripped and ran all the way up to $12. Now, guess what? It's coming back down to $10. And guess what? We made $424. Deck, could we have made more money? Absolutely. If, again, I was able to add more shares, if, again, I held a little bit longer, these are all great things. But the great news is, if you are interested, you could look for a possible dip buy. Now, Deck, where else could we look for a possible dip buy over on this play? Not only the VWAP area, but you can go back down towards these old upper shadows. These old upper shadows, probably back down towards around 940, 950, will also hold up as great little dip buy areas. But it's almost the same thing every single day. You come out with news. News again, traders go on crazy rips and runs. Why do traders go on crazy rips and runs? Because they want to get involved in something. Once the momentum fades on off, usually from past chart history pattern, you can short it and the stock usually ends up coming on down to where it started. Again, this is not saying that WeBuy has any sort of, collaboration or partnership with Coinbase. It's saying it integrates Coinbase. Guys, that's not anyone that has a Shopify, a website. If you have any website, if you go to GoDaddy, make a website, you can get an API that says, okay, we're going to add Stripe. We're going to add PayPal. We're going to add credit cards. We're going to integrate Coinbase. It's not that big of a deal. Anyone can do this, like literally anyone. So the fact is that this stock just went on 100% spike. Hey, the odds are it's probably going to start coming back on down. The odds are it's probably going to start dropping. The odds are it's probably going to start getting weaker here pretty soon. So I want to make sure every single trader is all set. I want to make sure every single trader is all good. I want to make sure every single trader completely understands this. All right. So again, awesome job, awesome work, awesome just trading overall here in all today. And I want to see what we get in the next 7 minutes, because in the next 7 minutes we could possibly be doing something even better. In the next 7 minutes we could possibly get even more hype. So let's have ourselves a day here, traders. Let's do it. Let's have ourselves a day here. Right now, 7:54 in the markets. ARTL, look at this. ARTL stole the show. Look at ARTL. All right, ARTL. First things first, guys. What's going on with the ARTL? Why is the stock ripping? Why is the stock running? Why is the stock climbing? 9 minutes ago, just came out with a press release over on ARTL. ARTL says it came out with positive first-in-human data trials. Okay. So we actually do have a credible reasoning over on ARTL right now. Now, ARTL, how high is this one going to go? That's obviously the big question. How high can ARTL spike? How high can ARTL rip and run? How high can ARTL get up towards? It's usually $18.75 or $20. Those are kind of, the big areas that you guys want to be aware of. And I just want to make sure every single trader is fully aware of ARTL and the action that this play does have right now. This, what? All right, awesome, great. So ARTL starting to form a little bit of this upper shadow. What do we have to do? We have to go on over, see if there's shares available to short. ARTL right here, ARTL. We go ahead, Deck, how many shares would we want? I'm probably just going to stick with 1,000 shares to kind of kick things on off here today. already shortable. So again, ARTL actually don't even need to locate shares. It's already shortable. So cool. That's great news over on ARTL. Stock is still trying to spike its way on up. Deck, what would be a great target? Well, how do we figure out a great target? Let's look at past chart history pattern. Past chart history pattern, we are way up in the sky up here, way above everything. So we got to go back into a larger time frame. Weekly time frame. ARTL, are we right next to like a 200-day moving average? ARTL, 200-day moving average, 1948. That's not going to be easy to break above nor stay above. So again, that 200-day moving average on the weekly chart, 1948. That's going to be a little interesting to be able to get above and stay above. I would say, again, anything that we could get possibly above that $19 mark could be absolutely incredible. ARTL right here, if we again scroll this on down, look at this big upper shadow, now started to turn. Don't drop yet. I don't want this thing dropping yet. You can see 1948 would have been an absolutely amazing entry. Stock starting to turn and fade already right now. Again, we want to be waiting for entries if we can get them at least back up near around like $17.90 to $18, up if we can towards $19. You know, that 1948 mark is that 200-day moving average. That would be, this line right here would be the best line that we can get. That would be the best line we can get. Now, are we going to get back up towards around that 1948? I really don't know. I really don't know if we're going to be able to get back up there. Hopefully we can test it 1 or 2 times, you know, but I would say best entries would be anything between these two lines, like 1850 to 1950. If we can get any entries between these two lines, that's what we'd really want to be able to go after. That's what we'd want to be searching for. And that's what we want to, you know, see if we could be able to make that money. So again, got to get back up towards, you know, 1850, 1860, 1870, hopefully again, a little bit of rip and run. So notice what happens, guys. One of the biggest cheat sheets is when you guys do see these upper shadows. I mean, just take a look right here. When you guys see this big upper shadow, you know, that formed right here, guess what happened? Upper shadow formed, stock came crashing on down. Take a look right here. Upper shadow formed, stock came crashing on down. So again, you guys can see how great this, you know, works when we have these nice upper shadow areas. Let's see, guys. We're at 1805 right here. Can we keep on ripping and running, get a little bit more pop in here? If I can get filled, I'll take it. If I can get filled up in the 1875 region, I'll definitely take it. As I said, to start on off, do again 250 shares. Guys, just got filled on my first entry. 250 shares, 1875. 1875 on the dot, 250 shares, ARTL. Now, again, we will get filled all the way up towards around that 1950 mark, as we said. Probably have a stop loss somewhere above $20. Stop loss will be somewhere above that $20 region, just a little heads on up. I am in on 250 shares. Now we're up $300. Absolutely great so far, guys. If we crash underneath $17, I'm just going to take profits. If we ever go underneath that $17 mark, we're up $340 right now. Let's see if we can get a nice little pullback underneath again $17 and just, you know, make this money. So guys, there's a nice little drop. Just made again, ARTL just made $508. So guys, just made $508. We're up almost $933 on the day. So guys, I love trading, don't you guys? It is almost, again, 8 a.m. in the morning, and we're currently up almost $1,000 on the day. Okay, pretty good. Pretty good, guys. Who wants to keep it going? Who wants to keep it going? Hey, all right. So I appreciate, you know, the production over here. Now, what do we have at this moment? ARTL still, again, absolutely great. Almost up $1,000 on the day. We got in a great entry, again, waiting for those highs and those upper shadows. 7:58 in the morning. And guys, this is what we literally do every freaking day. Every day. Again, we're doing it. Every day we wake up, we make this money. Again, and traders, I mean, yes, I sit here and I live stream in front of everyone, right? I sit here and I live stream in front of you guys every single day. I sit here and I live stream in front of all the traders that are watching. But just think about this, right? Right now, being up whatever it is, I'm going to say 900. Let's just do the math. Why not? It's $508 plus, again, $424, $932. $932. It's not even 8 a.m. yet. Now, let's times this by 251 days in the stock market. Now, not every day I'm going to make $900. Some days might be lost, might be slightly red. Some days might be way more, right? But let's say average. I just do what I do right now. How much money am I making at the end of the year? $233,000. So what you guys are literally watching right now is me making in the top probably 5% of America, right? How insane is that? Right? You ever wonder how people have all these foreign cars, how people, again, drive these, you know, amazing cars, have these nice houses on the beach, have a boat, you know, all this. A lot of times, guys, it just is working its way through the stock market. If you can work your way through the stock market and be able to figure out, okay, hey, you know, where can I be able to take advantage? But it's not like that, is it? Guys, everywhere I go on the internet, right? Everywhere I go on the internet, it's kind of crazy. I'll say, hey guys, let's go ahead and bet against this play. It's a play that has, all momentum. Oh, sorry. And then I heard my Fox Runner scanner is giving me agreement. I thought that was someone yelling at me. So what we have right here, little heads on up, guys, is everywhere I go, people are always wanting to buy at the top. People become addicted to stocks. People literally, again, say to themselves, oh, hey, I want to buy this stock. It's up 300%. Oh, to the moon. We're going to go up 300%. Guys, that's the worst way to trade ever, right? That's like basically doing this. Imagine this, guys. The way that most people trade is like seeing a car go from 0 miles to 100,000 miles. And you saying, this is the greatest car ever. I'm going to put my life savings in this car. And now, again, you purchase a car with 100,000 miles on it. Guys, would you rather purchase a car with 100,000 miles on it or 0 miles on it? So why are you getting so jacked up about a stock that's already spiked 200% that's probably going to fall apart pretty soon? That car is going to need work pretty soon. Stop buying it at the highest premium possible, So again, BMNR, 29%, $250 million private placement. Anything else we have here? UFG, HHS, 37%. Again, it looks like we have a couple of plays. Let's see which one has kind of the most hype right now. HHS right here. Nope, nothing going on right there. CRBP. Now, again, all these kind of low volume dead plays. All these like lower volume plays right here. How about MNTS? MNTS right here. There we go. MNTS got a little bit of ripping and running. So MNTS, you guys can see it right here, awarded a NASA contract. So MNTS just came on out with a NASA contract over on this play, over on MNTS. Quick little spike, quick little rip. Now, again, NASA contracts are good, are credible. Nothing wrong with that in any sort of way. This play over on MNTS, I kind of missed it. You guys could already see a little bit of spike and then starting to drop its way back on down. So kind of already missed this one. Not going to chase this and try to short it at the bottom. And again, usually my goal for anyone that's asking is, for me, I like to make $1,000 a day, right? So that's my happy place. If I can make $1,000 a day, I'm pretty pumped. I have nothing again to, be worried about or concerned about in any sort of way. I mean, just think about it, traders. If you are on average making $25,000 a month, okay? Let's say on average, you guys are making $25,000 a month. Who would take that? I would tell you right now, making $25,000 a month, I would take that right now for the rest of my life. No questions asked. For sure. Some people, don't you want to make $100,000 a month? Don't you want to make $200,000 a month? The thing is, it's like, for me, if someone said, hey, Sean, you keep doing what you're doing, I'll guarantee you make $25,000 every single month. You are again making over $250,000 every year. I'll say, yeah, boom, I'm good with that, right? Guys, I want to be a consistent trader. I don't care if, again, my names go down in books as being one of the greatest traders of all time. I just want to be able to have a comfortable life where, again, money is never an issue for me. That's how I want to live. I want to be able to wake up and I want to be able to live where I don't have to worry about money in any sort of sense. I'm worrying more about what am I going to do on this day? How am I going to trade on this day? What am I going to put just in that sense. I don't want to worry about bills. I don't want to worry about finances in any sort of way. And I think that's how the majority of people want to be able to live. So again, it's all about trying to follow these strategies and do the best that we possibly can at this time. So right now here, traders, we do have ARTL working its way back on up. Whenever, again, we start spiking back on up, I always like to make sure I just don't have any pending orders. So, sometimes, especially being a new trader, you might set orders and then you forget about them. And the next thing you know, you're filled. But I don't have any pending orders at this time. So right now here, team, we just came back on up towards around 1875 again. Just came back on up to 875 again. Now, again, if you are sticking with these kind of price areas, 1875 up towards around that 1950 mark, you would have just gotten filled again and see this thing start fading and falling. Now, I would even lower your kind of stop loss, guys. If you are, again, having a stop loss, your stop loss, if you're getting filled anywhere between 1875 and 1920, 1940, have a stop loss at 1950. If this thing ever started going and squeezing above 1950, this is probably going to really rip and run. So just be careful. Yes, I am not opposed if anyone wants to keep getting shorts, but I will say, because it's tested once, tested twice, tested 3 times, tested 4 times, if this does squeeze, we could easily see this thing start getting some popping. We could easily see this thing start taking on off a little bit more. We could easily see this thing start getting some action. So we are just watching and waiting and staying smart. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to ask you guys a question, though. If you guys are enjoying this, I mean, I've already made 2 live trades in front of you guys right here. Make sure you guys, if you haven't yet, make sure you guys smash that thumbs on up and subscribe. Just want to make sure every single person is showing StockTwits that you guys enjoy being here. You guys love the show. You guys love the action. You guys love the energy. You guys love the profits. So if you guys have not yet, just take 1 second, smash that thumbs on up, subscribe to the channel of StockTwits if you guys haven't, and let's just keep this party going. So, I want to make sure we're good. Deck, do you ever, again, buy stocks on, do you ever buy stocks on your live trading sessions? Again, I have all my long-term investments, but the thing is, to be frank with you, I don't buy many plays. I don't buy many stocks. And the reason why I don't buy many plays is because a lot of these plays shoot on up and then come crashing on down. Now, again, if we're talking about like my long-term investments right here, what do I have? Google, Amazon, Apple, Bros, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, Palantir, Uber. Those type of plays, right? Those are great long-term investments. But when it comes down to penny stocks, what does it come on down to? Again, I've stated this many times in the past. You only have 3 areas that you can make money when it comes down to smaller micro-cap plays. Number 1 is that you, again, watch the news the moment it comes on out. The moment news comes on out, you get yourself involved in it. You, again, see ARTL comes on out with a hot press release. You see ARTL on your news scanner. ARTL, the moment it comes on out, you get yourself involved in it, and you get in on ARTL in the bottom half. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You get in at least within the first 10 minutes. This is an area that you can make money. But I know that the majority of traders are not going to get themselves filled within the first 10 minutes. The majority of traders usually, again, don't see a play until way later, which is why, again, when they buy up near $19, $20, they end up losing so often. That's why I think it's way smarter and way better for you guys to be looking for shorting, where you guys can see these drops and these fades and these falls. So it's either you get in first from hot news, or you wait for the stock to develop and then you short it back on down. Or you wait for the hot news, you wait for the stock to go on up, you wait for the short back on down, and then you look for a dip buy, maybe back closer towards like 15 bucks. Let's say this one ever started falling and fading down towards like 1560, 1570, then you could look for a dip buy way down low. Excuse me, guys. As I said, I'm fighting a little allergies up in here. Now, we do have ARTL. Watching these plays, we do also have a little bit of a bull flag pattern starting to develop. Slight little bull flag pattern right here over on ARTL. Traders, if this one crashes underneath this line, we're going back on down probably towards like 1560. So if you want to see like probably a dip buy, I would say anywhere sub $16 should get a bounce back on up above $16. So if we ever got like a 1590, 1570, 1560, we should go back up to like 1610, 1620 really quickly just to be able to make like another little 250 bucks. That could be awesome. So right now, though, you guys can see the uptrend. Look how well this uptrend's holding. Uptrend's doing pretty well. Yeah, see the uptrend still trying to grind, still trying to hold itself on up. Not doing too shabby. Still, again, working its way on up. Still, again, holding this little line at this moment so that you guys are all set, ready to rock. And obviously, again, all we're doing is just trying to stay dialed in with every single move that we make. Deck, my broker doesn't allow shorting. If your broker does not allow shorting, again, you guys can use the same broker that I have. The broker that I use is Cobra. So again, Cobra is my broker. If you type in the word, I'll type it over on YouTube chat, but if you do type in Deckmar Trades while signing up to Cobra, you guys do get free platform. You do get free access. You do get 50% off shares, commissions for life. So just a little heads on up. There is, again, Cobra, so that you guys are all set, ready to rock and roll. Type in Deckmar Trades when signing up to Cobra, and you guys will be able to get 50% off commissions for life, all the short locates that I have, and free platform access so that you guys are all set, ready to rock and roll, which is absolutely awesome. You guys are all good there. Also, team, as I state, how do I find all these plays every single day? I find all these plays every single day by, again, having Fox Runner. It's the news scanner that's all in real time. So, again, if you were looking for how do you find news the moment it comes on out, how do you find the hot press releases the moment they come on out, it all comes on down to having a news scanner and having a news scanner that gives you the news the moment it comes on out. So again, this is how I find all the hot press releases every single day. Hey, Deck, what are the best press releases every single day? ARTL, again, the stock that we're trading. MNTS, again, got the NASA contract. MNTS, this is another Space Force. So again, this is where I find all the news. This does have a 30-day pass as well. So if you guys are interested, you guys can go ahead and sign up for that. That is 30 days of free access when you guys sign up regardless. So you guys can go ahead and check that on out. Now, let's keep our eyes peeled over on ARTL so that we're all set here, seeing if this is going to be able to squeeze and spike. If this stock does squeeze and spike, that is absolutely great and absolutely awesome for everyone. Let's see, our IPDN not doing anything. WBuy, remember we buy right here. We shorted that one at $12, now at $9.24. BMNR still seems like ARTL is our best bet. ARTL still seems like it's our best bet, but now again, this is where you kind of get like, for me, this is kind of where like a little FOMO kicks in a little bit. Now, why is FOMO kicking in? Because it looks weak, doesn't it? It looks weak. It doesn't look like it's holding very well. It looks like, again, if I take a look over on ARTL, this is going to be a stock that's going to fade and fall and start dropping. But this right now is the worst possible time I could short this play. And you might say, Deck, why is that? Because let's just put a line right across the board, right around this like 1650 mark. If you guys take a look at this, right around the 1650 area, guess what? We do have right here, look at candle to candle transition, usually holds up as some sort of support. We had a bounce play at 1660, bounce play at 1630, bounce play at 1650, bounce play at 1660. Could this possibly crack? The answer is yes, it definitely can. But for the last 4 times, there's been dip buys and bounces whenever it comes back on down here 1615, 1625. So this is where you got to break out of that habit of saying, oh, it looks like it's weak, let me go ahead and short it. Guys, if it's near these bottoms, look how many chances it has of dip buying back on up and possibly, again, going back up towards an area that squeezes you out. For me, I only try to short at highs. For me, I only try to dip buy at lows. For me, I only try to buy breakouts if I see the news right away, right? These are all things that I'm constantly thinking about. These are all things that I'm looking for when I'm trading. So look at this, another green candle coming on in. Now, again, very simple, very, very elementary, but what, setup do we have right now? We do have a little bit of a bull flag setup at this moment. So if we, again, brought this on up, we do have a little bull flag wedge, right? You guys can see this little bullish pennant right here, where we are getting tighter and tighter and tighter. Possibility that we are going to squeeze towards the upside, right? You get these little flags, you get a spike, you get a flag, you get the next leg on up, right? You kind of have the spike, you have the flag, you get your next leg on up. So we do have like this bull, right? This bull pennant pattern right here, where it's more about like squeezing inside this, little triangle, right? Getting tighter and tighter and tighter inside of its wedge. And as it gets tighter and tighter and tighter inside of its wedge, that's where this possible breakout could happen. So again, take a little mental image picture of this right here. Now, again, we go over to ARTL and we definitely have something slightly, slightly similar, where if we take a look over on this play here, there's a chance that this thing could be able to rip and run. There's a chance that this thing could be able to squeeze, right? Connect some dots, and let's see where we're at this moment. Bottom support, top resistance, looking to see where the stock is going to go, and now we're getting tighter and tighter. So now we could basically sit back. This is where you don't have to be fearful. This is where you don't have to be nervous. This is where you don't have to be saying to yourself, oh, I don't know what's going to happen next. It really comes on down to which side is going to break. Are we going to get to the corner and be able to squeeze on up, or are we going to get to the corner and start dropping on down? Which way are we actually going to be able to go? Which way are we going to be able to get that buying volume? So right now, obviously ready to go. Little heads on up. BMNR also just got halted, I believe. Did it? BMNR Technology announces a $250 million private placement expected to become one of the largest publicly traded ETF holders. So BMNR actually just came out with news, guys, as well. And I believe, let me again double check right here, is this halted at this time? So 8:11 here, at 8 a.m. announces $250 million private placement to initiate Ethereum Treasury, expected to become one of the largest publicly traded ETH holders, not ETF holders, excuse me, ETH holders. So you guys can see this. And let's go, let me just double check here something. NASDAQtrader.com/trader-holts. This again, you can show me all the Holt websites once it loads on up. And this play did come out at 8 a.m. and I believe it is halted at this time. Is it, guys? Yes, it is. So it got halted. It's the last order. Last order, as you guys can see, is at 7:30. 7:30. Did ARTL also just crack? Little sign up. ARTL is getting a little bit of a crack. So again, you can see the bull flag pattern fail. Guys, guess where it just came on down to? 15.10, 15.20, now bouncing right back up towards around that $16 mark. So again, if you guys did even get a little dip buy where we talked about before, back on down towards around that 15.50 mark, see if that thing can be able to bounce right back on up near that VWAP back above $16. Nice little crack. Stock is pretty much over with. So stock is pretty much over with. Stock is pretty much done with at this time. If it starts getting back above 1750, it could definitely come back to life. But I would say at this point, watch BMNR. to see when this one's going to be getting unhalted. BMNR, it says right here, halted from news. Obviously, the news is pending, but we already know what the news is. They're talking about being one of the largest ETH holders out there. How many cryptocurrency people do you guys think are going to get involved in this play? A lot. So again, cryptocurrency people can definitely come on in on the stock. Now, we don't know what time it's going to get unhalted. It could be 8:30, it could be 9 o'clock, it could be 9:30. So definitely make sure that you guys are being smart. Make sure you guys are watching that and being aware of it. But unfortunately, right now, IPDN starting to fade. ARTL right now cracked into a bull flag. WeBuy also starting to fade, and there's no other plays left. But BMNR is definitely going to be a hot, active stock for us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, today, live in front of you guys, wanted to get some trades in. Very important for me. Already essentially hit my daily target, so I'm kind of done on the day, but I am going to be live streaming on YouTube for the rest of the week. Yes, guys, my July 4th gift to you is I'm going to be live streaming for the rest of the week over on my YouTube. So if you guys want to see me continue to trade today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, make sure you guys are following me. Post the link over on all my social media accounts, Twitter, StockTwits, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. So if you guys want to see more live trading, if you guys want to see more live profits, if you guys want to see me walk you through step-by-step every single trade, make sure you guys come on over to my YouTube. I'm going live in probably about 15 minutes, and we'll again have a wonderful rest of our morning. Shout out to StockTwits. Shout out to, again, always being here on this Monday morning. I hope you guys banked on one of these plays on the short side. I hope you guys are excited. And again, big shout out to StockTwits and the production they bring. Make sure you guys smash that thumbs on up, hit that subscribe channel, and help me wrap this thing on up. You guys know the drill as always, baby. Enjoy those profits in 3, 2, 1. Ah! Oh, man. Have a good one. Thank you so much. Going live over on YouTube. Thank you, StockTwits. Everyone have a wonderful July 4th.